Hi, this is Little Wolf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Werewolf the Apocalypse, Heart of the Forest, Blind. Now, last time I finally changed and, became a werewolf. Well, I was a werewolf all the time, but I changed and embraced my true identity as one of the Guru, but I also killed Anya, which is a huge bummer, and I feel really bad about it. And now I'm supposed to be granted a vision by the Puszcza, and I feel like I'm going to choose the vision of the present, because maybe it will help me resolve the situation with the logging, because I feel like the past is kind of pointless. Like, I'm not sure what would it change at this point. Obviously it's important for Maia personally, and the future visions of the futures are tricky, because I feel like they can really mess with your mind if you became fixated on a vision of the future and either try to stop it or to change it or something. You could lose the track of what's important in the moment. So I feel like I will visit the wolves then, and ask for the vision of the present and the forest. They told me that there was an old wolves den in the forest, a place abandoned long ago, when the cubs were stolen, but knowing where it was and finding the way turned out to be two different things. I felt the Puszcza playing with me, twisting paths, blocking my way with the bushes and dead trees, and then suddenly a new path that was straight and full of sunshine. I pushed on. Since the change, I had become acutely aware of how my body worked, and I remembered what humans were good at: running. Stubborn, relentless, long-distance running, but not as fast as a deer, not as nimble as a wolf, but steady and without rest. So I ran. Then I was there. An old den hidden in the roots of a crooked pine. I crouched down. And looked into the hole. A sudden gust of wind brought with it the almost imperceptible smell of wolf cubs. I lay down under the tree and closed my eyes. I breathe in, and it fills me with peace and warmth. The wind rustles through the leaves, and the air smells of sweet dew and greenery. The sun shines at me. I close my eyes and extend my hands and feel my fingers dip into the thickness of the grass that covers the earth. I hear a whisper. I am the grass, it whispers to me. I cover everything. A bird flies over the forest. The trees move their branches like green, undulating waves over an endless ocean. I see the sickness. Maybe this will help me understand what's the problem with the forest and how to help it. I see the trees that are eaten by bugs. They desiccate and die. I see the loggers or the hunters. So am I going to confront one of them anyway? Who would I rather confront? I guess hunters, because to be honest, I consider most of the hunting to be even more, like, I consider recreational hunting to be pretty barbaric and kind of wrong. Like hunting for trophies and stuff. I feel like that's wrong, and I don't agree with that. So I guess if I were to eat anyone, it would be the hunters. Although I'm not sure if they are hunting for profit or for trophies, or because again, I don't consider myself knowledgeable enough on the subject, but I'm pretty sure there are cases in which hunting down a certain percentage of the population of a given animal might be beneficial to the overall ecosystem. But I guess I see the hunters. Hunters come and feed the animals only to shoot them. Yeah, that's kind of fucked up, really, when you think about it. I see humans destroying the forest. I'm getting really, really angry. The forest tries to heal itself, but nobody notices the sickness. Humans turn the forest into a desert. I am not alone. I can feel the forest breathing, long, deep inhales and exhales, and I can feel every living creature breathing together with it. Look again, they say. It will change nothing, says the ash-grey wolf. You must act. I look. I see the trees. I see trees that are eaten by the bugs. They desiccate and die. Apparently I lose rage now, as opposed to gaining. I guess I see the loggers. I see humans felling the sick trees to protect the healthy ones. I see the foresters. I see the foresters cleaning the festering wounds in the forest to help it heal itself. I see humans living in the forest. I see a man sitting motionless on a tree trunk and a little squirrel walking down to him, curious. I have seen enough. Humans influence the forest in many ways, and I am ready to pass judgment. I feel like I'm part of the forest. I am the forest, the world says to me. Let me work. So I let it go. I let it go, and I am a tree and a man and a squirrel. A man opens his hand. There is an acorn there. The squirrel grabs it and runs away. I see a little girl laughing, delighted when she sees it. I open my eyes. I open my eyes and see the wolf looking at me. Come with me, it is in your blood, she said to me. There is no one else to be my cub. Come to me, my child. I will nurse you, and I will lick your wounds. We will kill together. We will feast and we will be merry. The forest will grow. I look at her. I saw her for what she was. Her pelt was marred with fire. Her eyes were smoking embers. Ash was falling from her flanks. She looked old, ancient, sad and alone. She was the wolf from my vision. She was one of the wolves from my vision, watching my grandmother from the darkness, waiting for the village to burn. But she was more than that. She was more than one wolf, maybe. To be honest, I'm kind of winging it. Like it's getting so metaphorical at this point that I don't really think. Like I can't really explain the distinction between the various choices. Like I feel they are all valid in their own way. So sure, let's choose that. She was more than one wolf, but a combined memory of all wolves who had lost their cubs, their kin, their brothers and sisters since humans came to the Pusha. At least, that's what I thought when I looked at her. The wolf mother looked back at me, and something in my eyes made me realize that she was helping my family for generations, that my family used to serve her. Join me, she pleaded. Only you can understand me. Only you. Do I want... Because if she's aggressive, if she wants to call the humans, you know, to kill them, I'm not that okay with that. Like, I would still prefer to... Sure, I killed Anya, which sucks. But I would still prefer to end the logging peacefully. But she's more sad than angry, I guess. But then again, she was also waiting for the village to burn. And I guess she must be angry at the humans as well, if she embodies all of the wolves that had been killed. So I guess I walked away into the forest. I took a step back, then another, and another. I turned and disappeared into the trees. Don't fool yourself, the wolf cried to me. Peace is never an option. The wind howled. A lone wolf pierced the howl pierced the silence like a ray of moonlight in the darkness. There was another one, and another, and then another. A choir of voices, triumphant and joyful. I opened my eyes. I was in the clearing. Around me there were wolves, huge and monstrous, howling at the moon. Werewolves, like me. Well, hello there, Olga smiled at me. And welcome to the Sept. The what? I have no idea what you're talking about. I snapped, angry and confused. We live in packs, Olga explained, and when packs unite to fight a common enemy, they form a Sept. So there were 2 packs there. I realized that there must be at least 2 packs there. I looked at Cornell. A great grey-eyed wolf changed into Cornell, and soon Pat and Kim joined him. We are the Winter Weasel pack, and the white shadow settled on Pat's shoulder. I smelled musk and electricity. I looked at Olga. 3 of the monstrous wolves changed. Olga and Lisa stood up, human-looking again, their clothes rumpled. A yellow-eyed wolf by their side turned out to be Daniel. We are the pack of the Morning Wolf Mother, said Olga. They smelled of ash and tears, and for a moment I saw the wolf spirit among them. We are all Gaia's soldiers. In that we have no choice, but we can choose whom we fight alongside. I had so many questions. I shook my head. How do the spirits work? What about the spirits? How does that work? This world casts a shadow, and we call it the Umbra. Umbra is actually the shadow in Latin. Like, literally it means shadow. And in the shadow, every living creature, every emotion, every idea, every important object exists as a spirit. That's all you need to know for the moment. What about the moon? Why did I hear the moon whispering to me, I asked. Luna gave us rage. That's why she's important. And that's why you'll never be able to touch silver again. Was every sept that diverse? You are all over from Europe, I noticed. Is it like a standard for a sept? I looked at Cornell. I didn't even know it was a stupid question or a smart one. I looked at Cornell. It's far from a standard, but desperate times may make strange bedfellows. Normally, a sept is dominated by 1 tribe, maybe 2. There are at least 12 tribes, Daniel interrupted. And I hope, Maia, that you will choose yours wisely. Did I have to join a pack? Do I have to choose a pack? I asked just to make sure. No Garou can survive on their own, Cornell said with sympathy. Your old human life is over, but we will never abandon you. Who was winning the war? If there's a war, who's winning? At the moment, the worm. The world is... The world... No. At the moment, the worm, Colonel said. The world reeked of decay and burning oil. Mother Earth is sick, dying, and we are doing our best to protect it. To protect her. I summed it up. So, if I got all of this right, I've been conscripted into an ancient war against the worm, I said slowly, trying to put it all together, and the moon gave me rage as a weapon, but I must avoid silver. I took a breath. And then there is this whole secret world of spirits, and I have to join a pack and choose a tribe. Exactly. As for the tribe, there are two people who could mentor you now. Olga is from the Black Furies, an ancient tribe of women warriors. And Cornell is from the Children of Gaia. He's more a peace and harmony guy. And Black Furies, the almost all-female tribe, focuses on atrocities committed against women. They know the mother is female and represent all the resentment and anger women harbor from thousands of years of male oppression. Hated by other tribes because they only fight for half of the planet's inhabitants. I feel like that's strawmanning them a little, because the Black Furies, sure, they have a strong undertone of like hyper-feminism in them, but they are also very spiritual and very focused on the wild in particular. They protect like sacred places and nature. They are one of the most in tune with the wild in particular. And the Children of Gaia, a tribe that believes in peace with humans and that rage is a taint of the worm, not the righteous fury of Gaia. Hated by the other tribes for their reluctance to use violence and their celebration of pacifist human philosophies. Again, I feel like that's strawmanning the Children of Gaia, because sure, they compared to other Garou, they are kind of borderline pacifistic, but from what I remember from werewolf lore, they do not at all believe that rage is a taint of the worm. They just believe that you should control your rage and use it specifically to fight, but only when it's necessary, and to keep it in check so that you don't hurt innocents. So I'm not really glad. I'm not really sort of impressed with those descriptions, because I feel like they are not entirely accurate. What about my family's tribe? Hey, what about my family's tribe? I asked. Lisa winced. Daniel sighed. Olga shook her head. Ah, so they were the Get of Fenris? What's the matter? Your ancestors were the Get of Fenris, and no one here wants to have anything with that tribe, Cornell asked. They stand against everything we believe in. Were they really that bad? They surely aren't that bad, I asked. Are they? Get of Fenris are the most radical Garou suprematists that have ever marred the face of the earth. Like legit fascist werewolves, some of them literally worked for Hitler. Again, a tribe of werewolf suprematists who celebrate the destruction of the human world that Father Fenrir promises at Ragnarok, antagonistic to the other tribes to the extent that some whisper of worm taint. Hated and distrusted, many see them as another enemy in the war of apocalypse. Again, this is awfully Strawmanish, because sure, the Get of Fenris are dicks. Like, I don't like them personally. They're one of my least favorite tribes, but I feel like painting them. It literally says here that they celebrate the destruction of the human world that Father Fenrir promises at Ragnarok, and I feel like that's not at all true when you look at the lore in the tabletop game. In fact, the Get of Fenris have a very strong relation with their human kinfolk, And because of that, they often clash with the Red Talons, because the Red Talons are a tribe of Garou that are all lupus born, so they are all born as wolves, and they hate humanity. The Red Talons literally want to see humanity exterminated, but the Ghetto Fenris, not at all. Like, and again, some of them worked for Hitler, that is true, but they have been hunted down and destroyed by the other Ghetto Fenris after the war. They were called the Swords of Heimdall. It was like a splinter group of the Ghetto Fenris that were literal Nazis, but they were destroyed by their own tribe, specifically because the rest of the Ghetto Fenris saw them as an affront to their tribe, and saw it as a blemish on their honor. So the Ghetto Fenris are dicks, like I'll give them that, and I don't like them, but I feel like the game is again strawmanning them pretty hard, and I'm not at all impressed with the description of any of the tribes so far, to be honest. But I guess I had the right to know my legacy anyway. Well, thank you for telling me. I had the right to learn from where I came from. I needed to know more about the tribes. I wanted to learn more about the tribes and find an option that would really resonate with who I was. Who do I want to talk to? I guess talking with Kim doesn't cost anything because she's sympathetic. So let's talk with them. Kim told me a lot about bone knowers, urban werewolves fighting for the disadvantaged and the marginalized, children of the rat. They stand for the rights of the poor and the disenfranchised, making their homes in favelas, squats and camps, hated by the other tribes because they act like tame dogs, eating the scraps of the human table. Now, for one, this is kind of true. Like, the bone knowers are more or less, well, maybe hated. They are more, what's the word? The other tribes treat them with disdain, more than hate. Like, they see them as unworthy. Did they really have a rat as a patron? Do you really have a rat as a tribe's patron? Interesting that they use the word patron, because in the tabletop, the word you would use for a spirit that watches over a tribe is a totem. So that's interesting. Sure we do. It's a very good patron, resilient. You want to be like a rat, always managing, always afloat. They kept talking. That's why the bone knowers protect every single guest of a Gaia's child, no matter how small, because we're all valid. They sigh heavily. Now tell it to the other Garou when they look down at you because you are a bone knower and they think they are superior. Prejudice everywhere. He talked with Pat. Pat was a glasswalker, and her tribe was finding its niche in the cutting-edge technological cityscapes among the strands of the weaver's net. It sounded intriguing. We talked for a while. An adaptable tribe of urban human lovers who worship the weaver, or at least freely use its tools to fight the worm, hated by the other tribes for their willingness to abandon the old ways and embrace the tools of the enemy. Again, worship the weaver? Really? I feel like all of the tribe descriptions so far, maybe besides the bone knowers, are kind of weird and screwed compared to the tabletop lore. What was she doing in the forest? So you're basically a city dweller? All glasswalkers are. It's our natural habitat. I feel quite out of place in the forest. But the Puszcza was our home. Oh, she didn't like that, which is understandable. It may be your home, she said, and suddenly I realized we had less in common than I thought. I'm more of a city girl. We use the weaver to fight the worm, and the forest is not the weaver's domain. And I happen to be quite fond of humanity. They have great potential. I had to think it over. I don't want to spend willpower too much because I only have 1 point. Let me, because I kind of already forgot. He's a lupus, born as a wild wolf, and Lisa. Olga's girlfriend. I would like to talk to Cornel, to be honest, because he's a child of Gaia. Anya's dead. Yeah, Maia killed her during her first rage. To be honest, I would like to talk with Cornel more than I would with any of them. I didn't want to talk anymore. I was too exhausted to bug them with personal questions. There were a lot of werewolves there. One thing is bugging me. Why are there so many of you here? Suddenly everyone in Białowieża is a werewolf or what? You know nothing, cub. Olga laughed bitterly. A mere century ago there were dozens of packs in these forests, but none of the old guard survived the 90s. Lisa shook her head. We had to start from scratch. Until you showed up, there were only 6 of us, and 3 of us are not even local. 2 packs are too small for their own good. Anyway, before you're admitted to a tribe, you need to prove yourself. What now? Prove myself? I was shocked. Haven't I proven myself enough already? Yeah, rite of passage. You went through your first change, Pat said. She was leaning on a tree nearby, and you know everything you need to know at the moment, but you have to go through the rite of passage. Daniel rubbed my leg, excited. A vision quest, Kim winked at me. And since we don't have time for tests, we need you to solve a real problem. Olga stepped in. No, namely, we want you to find a way of ending this logging problem. So, how would you do it? They all looked at me in anticipation. I took my time. I took my time, overwhelmed by everything that happened. My old self was gone, replaced by a shape-shifting eco-warrior. But deep down, I was still the same person, with the same ideas and ideals. I knew what to do. Do I, though? I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I don't want to kill them, that's for sure. We need to find the local source of our problems. We need to find the source of the corruption, and we need to eradicate the cause. The symptoms will go away. Kim looked unconvinced. Never mind the loggers. Kim made a dismissive gesture with her hand. We have to inspire the protesters. Lisa rolled her eyes. You are all blind and ignore our most powerful ally. There are many ancient spirits in the Puszcza, and we should talk to them. I continued with my plan. Do I have a plan, though? Um, there must be something responsible. There must be someone responsible for the shit in Białowieża here at the local level. I want to have a talk with them. Cornell bared his teeth in a predatory smile. I know exactly who we should talk to. Daniel beamed. Spoken like a true Philodox. You were born under a half-moon, weren't you, Maia? Those born under the half-moon embrace balance between wolf and human, fury and wisdom, and act as judges and law-keepers. Yeah, so as I said before, as I said in the beginning, the phase of the moon under which you were born determines your sort of role in the Garou society. That is the Ragabash, born under the new moon, who are the tricksters and sort of rogues, the questioners of authority. There are Theurges, born under the gibbous moon, who are the shamans and the spirit guides. There are Philodox, who are born under the half moon, who are the judges and negotiators and mediators. There are the Galliard, who are born under the the Theurges are born under the crescent moon, and the Galliard are born under the gibbous moon, and they are the warrior poets. They are the lore keepers of Garou wisdom and of Garou history. And finally, there are the Arun, born under the full moon, who are the warriors of the Garou and the leaders in combat. Now, interestingly, Philodox, the word itself, has quite an interesting etymology, because it's made up of two Greek words, philia and doxa. Philia means love, and doxa means opinion or belief. So if you were to be poetic, you could say that Philodox is someone who loves what he believes in. And to be honest, I'm glad that I landed with a Philodox, auspice, because whenever I play Werewolf the Apocalypse, the tabletop game, I usually go for a Philodox. How did he know? I looked at him, surprised. How did he know? Mom had always told me that when she gave birth to me, the half-moon was shining through the window, reminding her that this too shall pass. I nodded. You're right. How did you know? Garou, born under the half-moon, are judges and truth-seekers, just like you and me. A worthy Philodox is honor personified, added Lisa. Your place in the werewolf society will be determined by renown. You can earn glory by defeating mighty enemies and succeeding in dangerous quests. You can earn honor by following your moral imperative and upholding the laws of the Garou. You can earn wisdom by acting efficiently and thinking before you act. Your renown will change as you play, contributing to Maia's legend among the Garou. No pressure at all. I felt overwhelmed. Olga must have sensed my confusion. Come on, we have a lot to discuss. She patted my shoulder. And we have to find your phone and wallet. So I followed her. I nodded and followed her. I had to tie up loose ends in my old life. Back to the beginning. I am sitting on a bus. The sun streaming through the windows is making it hard to see. The narrow road cuts through a dense old forest. My mind wanders. I remember doing something important, walking among the trees, looking for something, losing something I loved, gaining something unwanted. But then I'm fully awake and the memories scattered away. We're almost there, says Anya. I did some searching. She looked at me over her phone. And this place is amazing. The last primordial forest in Europe. Well, she's clearly not alive. It's a dream or a vision. It can't be the last one. Why, it can't be the last one, can it? I'm not able to finish. I start to cough. I spit blood. My throat is sore and my lungs hurt. Okay, that's pretty weird. What's up with the third eye? Anya, I need help. Anya is dead. That she is. She's sitting there in ripped, muddied clothes, her neck a gaping wound, seeping black blood. What's wrong? A raspy voice comes from the floor. I look down. Her severed head is under the seat, rolling back and forth as the bus speeds up. I feel something dry and acrid in my mouth, and then it starts to move. Spiders. I spit it out and see thousands of small spiders leaving my mouth. Threads of silk cover me, the seat and everything around us. I guess I will fight, if only to get a bit of rage, because I feel like 2 is a good middle ground to have. I tried to fight them, but they are too small, and there are too many of them, and after a few seconds I'm covered in cobwebs, unable to move. That is a pretty creepy visual. There's a hiss. Then slowly, a long dark shape comes out of Anya's ripped neck. A black snake that reeks of rotten meat, acid and oil. Don't fight, Maia. You're already mine. Just like your grandpa. And then it kisses me. Huh. So was my grandfather corrupted by the worm? Is that why they destroyed the village? Did they fall to the worm? Maybe. I guess I will learn soon enough. Chapter 5, The Plan. I woke up in my bed in the B&B, and for a moment I thought that the whole werewolf business had been a dream. Then I looked at Anya's empty bed, exactly how she'd left it in the morning we went to see the protesters. She was dead. The reality of the situation hit me. Anya was dead. It killed her. Anxious, I packed her things. Looking over my shoulder, I packed her things. The plan was bulletproof. Is it? I don't even know what it is. I needed to stick to the plan. She said she'd use favors with some network spirits and hack Anya's phone. It would log into some towers in Germany and the Netherlands, ping the social networks a few times, and before anyone noticed anything was amiss, there would be nothing to tie the disappearance to us. My hands were trembling. Who had I become? My hands were trembling and I was sweating bullets. What? Again, I don't know that expression. What does that mean, to sweat bullets? Like, I imagine that's probably not literally, but still. Fuck. I punched a closed door and my hand went straight through the wood, splinters digging deep into my flesh, and then I lost it. I lost the point of honor because I've given to the rage, which is bad, but well. I am sad and hurt and my friend is dead. I wail, overcome with guilt, and the window panes shatter. The shards of glass glimmer in the sun. I smash the room to pieces. I smash the wardrobe. One flick of my wrist and the wardrobe turns into the cloud of splintered wood. I break the bed. I lift the bed and smash it against the floor. I wreck the room. I punch holes in the walls and I smash the windows and I tear Anya's things to pieces. Stop it! Someone shouts through the door. I'm calling the police. I guess I have to change back, because otherwise I'm probably going to kill whoever is shouting if they confront me. Damn it, I'm not happy with that at all. I change back. Police unfriendly. Yeah, this is not going great. I can't see this ending in a good way, to be honest, at this point. This is going to end in a massacre. I have to stop. I change back. Listening to the shouts and distant sirens, I quickly packed what remained of my things. What was I thinking? I asked my reflection in a shard of broken mirror. I didn't know how to answer. I shrugged. Whatever the answer was, it was now Maia the werewolf's problem. Maia the student was dead. I took my bag and left. Everything according to plan. I dropped my bags in the camp and ran through the plan once more. They expect me to act like a philodox, but we'd also discussed other plans, both more sophisticated. I feel like this is a decent place to end the episode, so I'm going to do that. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!